yo, Dominique DiPrima. Go, sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day, especially today, though, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. We got a lot to talk about, got a lot to do, a lot of stuff going on around here. It is, this is the way we do the show, Monday through Thursday. Hour 1, we look left coast, what's going on around here. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a hot topic, hot person, or both. So how's it going down today? My friend, and actually someone who's helped me quite a bit in this particular area, Sasha Escandon, will join us in hour 3. She's a professional organizer to help you get your life together in the sort of logistical sense. It's amazing how having things more organized can make you more efficient and less stressed out. So we'll look at that, organizing our lives for 2025. I rhymed and I didn't mean to, just like like young Amara Abdullah on This Is Not a Drill this weekend. And then hour 2, I'll be joined in the spirit of Talking Point Tuesday by John Wood Jr., the only Republican who hosts a show on this radio station. As far as I know, there could be some undercover Republicans, but the only declared Republican. He's also one of the leaders of Braver Angels, which is meant to bring Republicans, Democrats, independents, all into community in a civil discourse about politics. And, of course, right now it's me, you, the microphone, the telephone, the Google fingers, the Twitter fingers, the Instagram digits, all of that. If you want to weigh in, you can join in the chat room, which is youtube.com, and then you type in KBLA 1580. That's where you'll see me streaming. And if you want to comment other ways, you know, I'm even on Blue Sky now, and I could use a follower or two. So at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima Radio, if you're looking for KBLA or KBLA 1580 on every platform, even Twitter. Yes, we're still on Twitter. I feel like I need to stay there to spy on them fools and see what's going on. So, but Blue Sky is much more friendly. I'll tell you that. I am enjoying it. And my favorite, of course, Instagram, DM, comment, like, subscribe, all of the things. It's actually Three Kings Day. If you're in the Christian faith, this is when the 3 wise kings showed up with presents. So, hey, if you're a wise king, come on. We're accepting gifts today. And even more than that, we're accepting wisdom. And you can share your wisdom at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. We are always on this show accepting your phone calls. Almost always. Occasionally we get a guest that we only have for 17 minutes or something, and I don't take your calls, but it's as a policy, I tend to take calls every day because that's one of the joys of doing talk radio. It's interactive. Some podcasts do that because they have their tech together, but it's more rare. One of the things I love about radio in general is it's immediate, it's live. It's that old school analog tech that gets us right connected. So it's hella windy today, and it's gonna get windier. Actually, it's not that windy in Lamert, but which is where we're broadcasting from, Lamert Park, Africatown, USA. But we're under this high wind warning. It's, I guess, the second from the most dangerous wind warning, and that's dangerous because if you have a high-profile vehicle, it can get blown away. tree branches coming down, and also fire danger. We're in extreme fire danger. Do not go out to the woods and smoke. Keep your cigarettes and your cannabis contained somewhere where it's not going to burn down acres and acres. And this is going through at least Thursday, could be Friday. It's more problematic than usual because we haven't had any rain. This rainy season has had zero rainfall. Maybe some heavy dew, but no rain, which means we're still kind of in fire season. Welcome to the climate emergency. And so just be careful. And, if you weigh under 100, don't go walking on any bridges. I'm kidding, but not kidding. I don't weigh under 100, but I've actually had times when those high wind warnings were blowing when I felt like I could have been lifted up. They're saying up to 100 miles an hour today, which is, I don't know, last time I checked, it sounds like some kind of hurricane, but that's not what they're calling it. It's a high wind warning. And it could go through Friday as well. Let's see what Fred's talking about. Fred from the Crenshaw District. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Dominique, my sister. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Yes, okay. You plan to check out the parade on the 18th of this month. You're going to be on one.
Okay, are you going to ask me that every time you call, Fred? I guess you're excited about the parade. Are you on a float, Fred?
Well, no, I'm gonna be observing the people as they make the left-hand turn. I'm a Saxon Holy Spirit Catholic Church. I set up two masses, one for 5 o'clock, then I reset for 7, so I can stay to 1:30. They're going to reroute to 105, so I walk down to Crenshaw Exposition and get the train to go on to the church. But anyway, we're going to have to do the best we can in this new year, although, we were pulling for Kamala Harris to make it. But, those things happen. I really think that maybe Joe Biden should have came out much earlier. Yeah, I think she did a great job as she could, but it's hard to do a lot with 107 days, and that's all she had to work with. And so I gave money to her.
She came within 1.5 million votes of this guy who supposedly has a whole movement behind him. I thought she was classy yesterday. Did you see the clip, Fred, where that senator's husband, the old chronologically advanced stale Saltine, refused to shake her hand, and she kept it classy. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You did see that?
Yeah, and the thing about it, I really think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk, as they say, pulled someone under the table because she was doing so well in the battleground states. Now, all of a sudden, she lost, as my dad would say, something ain't right with that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I agree with you, but it seems like nothing will be done about that. No one's talking about it. There have been no challenges even to those precincts that seemed highly unlikely to have gone red. So it looks like it's going to stand. And she did the classy thing. She showed up and did her job, something that DJT has yet to do on any single day. And she did it without people chanting for her to be hung by a gallows that they had set up. So it's night and day, right? One's professional, one's doing their job. The thing about that white man disrespecting the vice president by refusing to shake her hand is that she is exactly that, the sitting vice president. So you're not just disrespecting her, you're disrespecting the office of the vice presidency, the democracy, our system, the White House. And I think that that is really sad. These people don't know how to can't even play their own game by their own rules that they made up because their racism, misogyny, hatred, and pettiness just doesn't let them do it.
Yeah, and it looks like the people who started the insurrection, basically they're gonna get a free ride. Isn't that awful? So Trump said, well, if I'm elected president, I'm gonna pardon everybody. That ain't right. And that multi-million-dollar lawsuit, it looks like that's gonna go out the window because as you know, on the Supreme Court, the 9 judges, 6 of them are Republican. You only got 3 Democrat. And the majority always rules. So who knows? Kamala Harris might take a shot at the presidency in 2028.
Yeah,
we'll
she
just
might.
have to wait and see.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. Appreciate the call. It's between running for governor, I think, in 2026, which we're hearing a lot of chatter about. She would be the first black woman governor ever in the history of the United States of America, or running for president, which I think might be tough because it's going to be a crowded field this time. And many may feel that, they want to go back to the default, which is white male. 800-920-1580, that's the number Fred called, and I invite you to do the same. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby!
Starting Monday, January 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited.
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornel West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back-to-back?
Oh, my God.
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DiPrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up.
That's what I want.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
Or call 800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, so much going on. So today, the California legislative session opens in Sacramento for 2025. And, well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes down. I know that there is lobbying planned for today. And I imagine it's going to be rather robust lobbying today. I will have a report back on that for you tomorrow. And it's, it's expected after the fail of the CLBC, the betrayal around reparations, there will be somewhat of I don't know if I want to call it a reckoning, but there definitely is going to be some pushback, right? And some lobbying and some organizing to make good on the promises to pass these bills. And some folks, at least one of them, one of the bills has been promised to be reintroduced. So I know people are going to be there. There is you can go to CJEC official. They really don't have anything up here right now, but I guarantee you stuff is afoot. I'm aware. I don't want to say things I shouldn't be saying when it's not time to be saying them, but watch this space because there will be lobbying, there will be actions, there will be follow-up. Let's call it follow-up. There will be follow-up because the reality is we were failed by the California Legislative Black Caucus. Some of its members are new now, and perhaps one of those new members will be willing to take this up as they've pledged they would. And some of the senior members, some of the veteran members who have said that they would do so. So we shall see. People definitely have not forgotten at all. And so we know that this is going to be on the agenda, the to-do list of Black Lives Matter LA, of CJEC, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, of CORE, of Africa Town Coalition, and not just from LA, but statewide. Folks are focused in on this today. And as you heard, if you missed it, you can find it wherever you get your podcast. But Chris Lodgson put forth the demands coming from CJEC, and I think I know BLMLA and other organizations are coalescing around those demands, including $30 million to be allocated on top of the 12 that was supposed to have been set aside last time, which reportedly is still there, but we don't know for sure because initially we were told it was going to be doled out to these nonprofits. Well, first, it was meant to go to the agency, the Freedmen's Bureau. When the CLBC failed to create a Freedmen's Bureau or a funding mechanism by voting on those bills by Senator Bradford, refusing to vote on those bills, I should say, by Senator Bradford. Then we were told that that money was going to be distributed to community-based organizations, which a lot of people were not feeling because those funds were meant to support reparations directly, not be funneled around to some other less accountable kind of process. The other thing we heard is that it would be spent on a publicity firm, a publicist, to let people know what had happened so far about reparations. No one I spoke to in the space was happy about that. They want another $30 million now on top of that 12. They want to hold the 12 and allocate those to run a Freedmen's Bureau. They want to create a guaranteed income program for seniors who are descendants of enslaved persons in this country. And to me, that makes a lot of sense because when you look at houselessness, it's disproportionately Black and disproportionately elders, okay? And they want to compensate Black families whose property was stolen through racially motivated eminent domain. That, of course, is the other Bradford bill that did get a vote, but which the governor vetoed with the disingenuous argument that there was no Freedmen's Bureau, an initiative, that bureau, which he actually had an active role in making sure did not succeed. So that was kind of really tricky of him. As Sahara Ali would say, politricks. Cal Matter says we have a tough road ahead because reparations are politically unpopular, meaning politicians are concerned about the repercussions to their careers if they move forward with anything in support of reparations, especially cash reparations. We've seen that from polling. But this is not a popularity contest. It is, in fact, a debt that's owed to black folks, black descendants of enslaved persons in this country. And in other countries, too. But right now, we're talking about California, specifically in the United States. And we're in a budget crunch. But if we wait until the perfect budget day and the perfect moment of political will, we'll be waiting forever. If we waited for the perfect budget day and the perfect political will, we would still be enslaved right now. Ending enslavement was really tough on the economy if you were a slaveholder or other profiteer from our ancestors' exploitation. There was never a good budget day to end enslavement. Never, ever. And there was never enough political will. We had to fight a whole war. And while I know that wasn't the only reason for the Civil War, it certainly was one of them. There was never the political will to just say, do like Mexico did and just abolish slavery through legislative solutions. Imagine that. Mexico did it. That's why black folks were making a run for the border the other way when the nation of Mexico abolished slavery 50 years prior to it ending here through war. So no one's giving up. Those are the same arguments we've heard since we were whipped and chained, raped, and forced to work for generations 12, to be exact, without compensation. And, okay, I heard Chris Lodgson and others loud and clear. They want to work in a bipartisan manner. I think bipartisan is like unicorns, extremely rare these days. But he made a great point, which is we did see some Republicans vote in committee and such for reparations bills. And we did see some Republicans vote for that apology, which did pass. So apparently the education is yielding results. I think we'd be deluding ourselves and being played like little tricks if we relied on conservatives, Republicans, to deliver reparations, but certainly educating and reaching out and making the ask is worth the time, undoubtedly. 800-920-1580, that's the number if you want to talk. Tupac back in the news. We'll look at that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Wall Street closed mixed to start the shortened trading week. The Dow lost 25 points, the S&P 500 rose 33 points, and the Nasdaq climbed 243 points. Markets will be closed Thursday for the National Day of Mourning for former President Jimmy Carter. The White House is working to secure a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas before President Biden leaves office. Secretary of State Antony Blinken mentioned ongoing intensified engagement and the administration's commitment to achieving the agreement by January 20th. Netflix debuted WWE's Raw Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, featuring the returns of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena and rapper Travis Scott. The event took place at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. And Zendaya and Tom Holland are engaged. Sources say the Spider-Man star proposed between Christmas and New Year's at Zendaya's family home. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers lost a close one in Minnesota last night. They fell short to the Timberwolves 108-106. A strong game from Clippers center Ivica Zubac, 17 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 block shots. Kawhi Leonard, playing in his second game this season, remains on a minutes restriction to protect his right knee. Leonard had 8 points in 21 minutes. The Clippers are at Denver Wednesday night. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They're at Dallas. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the nation, is at Purdue tonight. The Bruins are 15-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. USC's women's basketball team, ranked 4th in the country, is at number 8 Maryland Wednesday night. The Chargers made an interesting move on Monday. They signed free agent running back Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott was cut by the Dallas Cowboys last week. The Chargers might use him in Saturday's wildcard playoff game at Houston. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Somebody's been praying for me.
Thanks to the generous support of the KBLA Talk 1580 delegation, we were able to donate 545 pounds of coats and blankets to the LA Mission this winter season.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
The LA Mission expressed its deep gratitude for our gift all over social media, but we wish to thank them and all the other service providers who look out daily for the less fortunate in our community, finding our happy by being helpful.
Hallelujah.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, where we do more than just talk.
Somebody's been praying for me.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. So, Tupac's alleged killer saying he should have his charges dismissed because it's been too doggone long. He says the evidence is lost, Sugar's in jail, other witnesses are dead or also incarcerated. He says it ain't fair. Dwayne Davis, Keefe D, says that his constitutional rights have been violated by the unjustified super long time that it took, almost 30 years, before they arrested him, and that the Las Vegas police have never provided a reason for waiting those 14 years. His lawyers are also saying, look, he was offered immunity, not really immunity, what they call a proffer, where he could say all this stuff and confess what he did, and they wouldn't charge him. because they were just using it to solve the case. However, what happened subsequently was he told his story to the Las Vegas police. They're saying they never offered him any proffer agreement or any kind of immunity. And then he went on TV and on social media. And of course, you know what you say on TV and social media. And apparently now in rap lyrics can and will be used against you in a court of law. It'll be interesting to see if he gets any love for this. And they are going to hear this motion to dismiss the day after DJT gets sworn in on January 21st. Let's go to Amin calling us from LA. Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
What's on your
Can
mind?
you hear me?
I do.
Yes, ma'am. You know, I remember, I think, when was that? During the Villaraigosa regime, the Latinos, they showed their strength. They went downtown, and something like 5 or 10 million of them showed up downtown and really put it on people's mind, just how powerful they are in numbers, you know? But I was thinking, we're talking about reparations.
You're talking about, the people marching against kids in cages. That wasn't just in L.A., that was across the country, so I'm not quite sure why you tie it to the Villaraigosa administration.
No, that's been, what I'm talking about is, 10, 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Remember? It was, about 5 or 10 million of them showed up downtown. It shows you just how strong
Right,
they
but
are.
what I'm saying, that was a national movement, right, about immigration. It wasn't just L.A., it was nationwide.
Okay. But anyway.
The reason I say that is because you make it sound like we got a Latino mayor and 5 million people, and there wasn't no 5 million people in downtown L.A. It might have looked like it, but it was a lot of people. Your point is taken. There were national mobilizations around immigration rights and such.
Right, but I'm calling about reparations.
Okay, let's make that happen.
In other words, let the organizers think about, let's do for lack of better words or phrase, let's do a mini-man march, 2 million man march on Sacramento in the name of reparations. Let's organize that and see how many people converge.
Okay, so, here's my question about that. Do you think that enough people, and I'm talking about black people right now, are educated on this topic that they would actually go to such? That the Million Man March was a moment where black men just galvanized, and yes, that was under the leadership of the Nation of Islam, and yes, but it was it was the right time and it was the right message. And I think reparations is the right message, and I do think it's the right time, but I just don't know if our consciousness has been raised to the point. If you look at the low numbers of people who participated in the hearings to even get this report, if you look at the fact that I've got black people calling me and arguing against this or thinking it's a welfare or a handout, I just feel like we got work to do.
Yeah, but let's see. Let's put the call out. Or 9 months or a year from now, let's converge on Sacramento as a group of people.
On Sacramento, yeah. Well, there may be some converging going on before then. People converged on Sacramento on August 31st when they heard about the betrayal that was about to go down. Now, it was, I wasn't there. I had COVID at that time. I know it was over 100 people. And that might not seem like a lot, but you're talking about people have to travel to Sacramento.
And I think they will.
And I'm pretty sure they will. Yeah.
Yeah. If we get close to 1 million people, 2 million people up there, we'll make people.
We don't even need 1 million. If 1,000 people showed up there, lawmakers would be concerned. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to have 1 million, but 1,000 would be a great start. And especially if they could show up on a regular basis. But we're going to have Friday Jones reporting back tomorrow morning to let us know what goes down in Sacramento today, since today is the opening of that legislative session. And folks are going to be kicking off what you're talking about, which is that organizing for reparations in California, in terms of not just doing the work behind the scenes, but showing up and making sure legislators know. So if you're in Sacramento or you have the means to get there today, tomorrow, between now and the 21st of February, which is the last day to add new legislation, this is the time to show up for this round.
Okay. All right, then. I got my little piece in. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I appreciate you, Amin. And I actually do agree with your idea. I mean, I think the organizing between now and 1 year or 2 years to continue to put pressure on lawmakers for reparations, I do think that's a good idea. It's just that right now in California, we're in a window of opportunity, right? Between this day, January 7th, where three kings may be going to Sacramento with some gifts and wisdom, till the 21st of February. That's the window of opportunity for lawmakers to introduce legislation. And even though it's not labeled as reparations, and some folks don't feel it's reparations, I believe that the bill introduced by Assemblymember Bryan to give descendants of enslaved persons in this country priority admission to UC and Cal State systems, which are two of the biggest college systems in the country, is a start. It's not enough. It's not nearly enough, but I think it's a start. And I hope it signals an intention to make good on the promises of the legislation, the legislators, I should say, to get some legislation and move it, particularly the Freedmen's Bureau. And there's 50 million reasons, and excuses. Well, it's going to cost too much. It's not long-term funded. What does it really do? Blah, 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 blah. That is, to me, noise. Like the wind that's blowing around here, it's noise. Stand it up and then tweak it. It wouldn't be the first time and it won't be the last. Stand up the agency. That's a victory in itself. And then tweak it. You already set aside $12 million, so you could at least fund it for a year or two, maybe 3, and then you got to put that other funding in place. Funding mechanism to distribute and or hold money allocated for any reparations legislation or distribution. That was the other one that was not given a fair vote on the floor, not given any vote, I should say, and that we'd like to see return. And I do think that CJEC is correct in calling for this restitution reparations a la Bruce's Beach, the sequel, a la the Ebony Beach Club, etc. I do think that is correct, and I can see why some are afraid of it, because if you look at the way the things like the 10 freeway have been put in place in California, there's a lot of taking of black people's property without the correct compensation. So we could see some significant redistribution of land and or other compensation for said land. And that's the whole point. So I am fully in support of CJEC on that point. Yeah. E.C. Courtney says they think we are a joke until we show them our true strength. And we have done it time and time and time again throughout U.S. history, throughout human history, particularly throughout U.S. history. And I believe we will and are doing that again. 800-920-1580, that's what Amin called, or you could weigh in the chat. You could weigh in on our socials at KBLA 1580. Wherever you are, I'll hear you. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby! Starting Monday, January 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited.
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornel West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back-to-back?
Oh, my God.
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DiPrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up. That's what I want.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la. Yeah, yo, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. What make you?
Yeah. The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
So I started out talking about this wind because here locally we're broadcasting from Leimert Park, Africatown, USA. We are right in LA, and this super high wind what they call life-threatening and destructive, is going to last through Thursday at least, maybe through Friday, according to forecasts. And it's not, aside from the fire danger and the, don't get blown off the bridge danger if you're small, there's also power outages that could be pretty widespread. So just be aware. I don't know, what you can really do about that. Have your flashlights ready, I guess. And just be forewarned. This is a rare thing. They don't just put this level of high wind warnings all the time. So although it may seem like, why is she talking about that? Yeah, when that tree branch, actually that did happen to us some years ago. A tree branch broke off and landed on the windshield of my then husband's car. Was it a sign? I don't know. But it sure smashed up the car. So all of the things that we're going to be seeing with this new administration are not just going to impact Washington. And this is one of the things that I was trying to tell y'all during the election, but I digress. One of those different projects, right, that have been allocated funds, whether it be schools, that the money goes to the state and then the state allocates money to different counties, or whether it be something like high-speed rail, which has been quote-unquote controversial ever since it started because it's expensive and Republicans don't like it. It's eventually meant to connect LA to the Bay Area, which would be amazing, and to Las Vegas. So it means you would have a low-cost way to go shoop, 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 and commute. Yeah, I said shoop, 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 whatever that means. Between the Bay and LA. Now, though, and stops in between, those kinds of transportation projects provide opportunity for low-income people. That's what they do. And it's one of the things that they do. But I guess the Trump administration is expected to scuttle all funding for that. The other piece of it is jobs. And this is something people in the Central Valley really need. And it was an unintended consequence. So some of the folks in the Central Valley that initially were against the high-speed rail changed their tune when they started to see the jobs coming in. Now, I was blessed to travel to Japan some years ago. I've actually been there several times. And they have the bullet trains. And it's incredible. I mean, you feel like you're in a jet, but it's a train, and you get from point A to point B incredibly quickly and smoothly. So the governor is out here trying to say, hey, we've made all this progress. This is going to transform our region. They still don't have a completion date. But what else is new? That's construction. It would be nice if they did. And they still need billions of dollars, lots of billions, to finish this. But the other thing about it is we are entering a new phase in our world, right? When you look at the climate emergency, congestion, our over-reliance on fossil fuels, the infrastructure around real, efficient public transportation has to continue to be built. I mean, speaking of Antonio Villaraigosa, one of the things that he did so well as mayor was push through these construction projects, connecting the different parts of Southern California. Now, we're seeing the benefits in recent years because it takes a minute to build those things. But what Villaraigosa was able to do is lobby Washington successfully to get the money to build these lines, the K line and the lines to the airport and such. And for all the controversy and the fact that for some reason conservatives hate this so much, I know it's partly because it's expensive, but that's never stopped them from doing other things. It's just, i.e., having the most giant bloated military budget in the history of the United States. It's just a question of priorities, what they want to spend their money on. They want to spend the money on tax cuts for the rich. And when you look at the numbers crunching that's going on right now with the so-called Doge shadow agency on the horizon, cuts are looming. Why will those cuts have to happen? To pay for tax cuts for the rich. If you are going to add to the deficit to the tune of trillions of dollars in order so that rich people who already have more money than they can spend in their entire lifetimes don't have to pay their fair share, somebody's going to have to take up that deficit. And in the typical conservative MAGA formula, that somebody is the middle class and the low income citizens of this land, right? The middle class, because they will not be the beneficiaries of these tax cuts and will continue to pay higher rates oftentimes than billionaires do. So paying a much larger percentage of their income to support the commons, those pieces of American infrastructure that we all use, but that the rich use more of. Why is that? They use more water to water their giant lawns and power their factories and other industries. They use way more power to energize their AI, and they burn more gas for their fleets of cars. They spend more of the well-being, if you will, or the structure of our roads and runways, and they pollute more. I think my dad had a famous one-line poem where he said, "Since the rich eat more than all of us, is it safe to assume they're more full of..." That was a haiku, or as he called it, a loku. The point is, you want to use more of the infrastructure, wear down the roads, the runways, pollute the skies, suck up the energy through your data storage and AI, which is profiting you, but you don't want to pay your fair share of taxes. So someone has to pay for that, those party favors, as I call them, the tax cuts for the rich, which would need to be renewed. I think it's 2026 they run out. And that somebody is high-speed rail, that somebody is school districts, that somebody is cuts to Social Security and the so-called safety net. Elon Musk tweeted that homeless is a misnomer, which really they're just really violent, mentally ill people. They're not really homeless. Although it could be argued that both the president and the co-president are already violent and mentally ill. Let's see what happens if you've got to live on the streets for a few days, weeks, let alone months, and see what happens to you and your mental health and propensity to violence. So, State Senator Cortez of San Jose is trying to figure out how we can get private industry to pay for the high-speed rail in anticipation of the Trump administration cutting critical infrastructure and the greening of such to pay for their party favors for the wealthy. So it's all local, from Washington to Beijing. It's all local. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Wall Street closed mixed to start the shortened trading week. The Dow lost 25 points, the S&P 500 rose 33 points, and the Nasdaq climbed 243 points. Markets will be closed Thursday for the National Day of Mourning for former President Jimmy Carter. The White House is working to secure a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas before President Biden leaves office. Secretary of State Antony Blinken mentioned ongoing intensified engagement and the administration's commitment to achieving the agreement by January 20th. Netflix debuted WWE's Raw Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, featuring the returns of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and John Cena and rapper Travis Scott. The event took place at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. And Zendaya and Tom Holland are engaged. Sources say the Spider-Man star proposed between Christmas and New Year's at Zendaya's family home. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Your local store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up